So a tiny little while ago, I went to Paris, France to see AllttA, and you might not know who they are, but you might know a few of these songs, because if you were on the internet in around 2017, 2018, or you watch Marques Brownlee, and you've probably heard them used as like background music. They were in that classic Logan Paul video where like nothing went wrong. And with me being a little internet kid, I was very excited when I heard that they were going to be touring. They were going to be playing some live shows for their new album, or should I say new albums, Curio Part 1 and 2, which are so good. These albums are 10 out of 10s. Every song they've made is so darn good. But when I heard that they were going on tour, I was like, hell yeah. But they weren't going to be touring in the UK, even though I asked them to. So looks like we're buckling up our stuff and going to Paris. So I packed my things, and there wasn't going to be that many things because all I had to pack was like a change of underwear. I was only going to be there for less than 24 hours. And basically everything to a certain point went fine. I got on the planes, that was good, and I love being on airplanes, so it was actually really good. And then I got to the hotel, and that wasn't so good. I had booked the hotel a little bit in advance, and there was this one website handing out rooms at this hotel for dirt cheap, so obviously I selected that one as opposed to everything else, which was like £100 more. And then when I got there, they were like, so it's a €100 security deposit, please. And I didn't anticipate that. I literally had no money when I was there. And I'm using the word I'm using the word right because I genuinely had no money apart from the train tickets I had bought at the airport to get from the airport and back to the airport from the hotel. So I spent like half an hour outside of this hotel calling every family member saying, outside the hotel calling and texting every family member I have saying, hey, can I have €100 and I'll like give it back tomorrow? It's just a security deposit for the hotel. And most of the people I called didn't even know I was in Paris, and they were like, oh my god, what? Anyway, we got that sorted out and I got into the room, and it was actually way bigger than I expected, which seems fair after they make me spend half an hour outside on the phone to family members. And it, like within maybe an hour of being in the hotel room, it was time to go and see the concert, and I was so pumped because I had gotten a hotel that was like a 2-minute walk away from the musical venue. And it was just, something was in the air that night. It was music was in the air, and I was so hyped. I've been following these guys since like 2018. Mr. J Medeiros, coolest rapper of all time. Von Sil, best music producer of all time. I was so hyped. It was gonna be awesome, and it was. The concert was sick. I before the concert even started, because I was there like half an hour early, and I guess not that many people were as excited as me. So the place was empty like half an hour before the show, and I was there, and I saw Mr. J Medeiros, one of 2 members of AllttA, just walking around, and I was like, hey, I am freaking out right now, but I love your music. And he was like, thank you, man, I appreciate you, merci. That's thank you in French. He's actually American, but I think he lives in France. The concert was amazing, and it was really, really funny, even though the lyrics of AllttA are very serious at times. The humor was actually pretty wholesome, and it was awesome. And afterwards, as I was leaving, I saw Mr. J Medeiros again. He was like, I don't know what he was doing. So I just waved, and I was like, that was awesome. Thank you so much, bro. And he was like, nah, come on, man. You gotta come meet Von Sil. And I like, are you kidding? That is the stuff of dreams. That is like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I go to another country to see a concert, and then one of the band members is like, hey, come on, you gotta meet the other band member. So I waited for a little bit, and I got a picture with both of them. So epic. I got to meet both of the coolest guys ever who made some of the most important music of a certain time on the internet. It was awesome. It was super cool. And then comes the part that's not super cool, which is getting back home. So the morning after the concert, I hadn't eaten anything for just less than 24 hours, which is fine because I was going to be getting back home that day, so I can hold out for a while. It turns out I had also gotten the wrong train ticket from where I was to the airport, but I didn't notice that, so I just got on the wrong train, and when I was about an hour on the wrong side of Paris, I got off when I realized, oh, my stop isn't on the list of stops here, and I just panicked. So I got up Google Maps, and it turns out that the nearest train station that was going to where I need to go was like a half-hour walk away. So I was like, okay, that'll be a nice breath of fresh air. I get to wander the streets of Paris for half an hour. I'm a pretty lucky guy to even get to experience something like that. So I was feeling good and happy. But you know how a lot of train stations don't let you leave unless you have a valid ticket? It was one of those. So I embarrassingly had to climb a barrier that was just as tall as I was. Like, I had to actually clamber over it like a ladder with no steps. It was super embarrassing, and a lot of people saw it, and I was really worried I was going to get caught. But also, how else was I going to leave this place? My ticket was invalid, and I had places to be. Then I do the half-hour walk to this other train station, and again, I have no euros, I have no money, so I had to climb another barrier. Actually, this wasn't a climbing barrier, this was a push the barrier really hard, and it'll get out of your way for you. I was feeling like an actual criminal by this point, breaking the law, stealing public transport. That's just the kind of badass I am. But I got on this train that goes straight to the airport, and I get off at the wrong airport terminal, which is fine if I had a valid ticket, which I didn't. So I got off at the wrong airport terminal. I got off at Terminal 1 when it was meant to be Terminal 2. And this airport terminal train station also had one of those barriers that you can't exit unless you have a ticket, but you can't exactly climb over barriers at an airport. They're a little bit stricter over there. And after a while of just standing there thinking about what to do, one of the security guards or the people that work there were just like, "Let me see your ticket," except in a French accent. I showed him my ticket because I figured I could just feign ignorance. Is that the right phrase? I figured I could just be like, "Oh no, I didn't mean to get the wrong ticket, I'm so sorry," and he would just let me go. But actually it turns out it was a child's ticket, like an under 10-year-old's ticket, and I can't exactly pass for that anymore. And he was like, "Yeah, there are penalties for this. 30 euros, please." I don't have 30 euros. And he was like, "Oh, it's okay. 80 euros tomorrow." And I was like, "I'm leaving this country. That's why I'm at the airport." This is something that genuinely, I felt my stomach in my chest. I felt fear. That's what I felt. He said, "Hand me your passport." Now, when you're trying to get a flight, that's like the number one thing you don't want to not have, apart from maybe your flight ticket. I think honestly, the passport, just hold on to that if you're getting a flight. But this guy wanted my passport, and I could have just ran away. I could have ran for my life. That probably would have been worse of a decision. So I did hand him my passport, and he looked down at it with a frown. He was like, no, he was more angry. He was like, and he was mad because I'm British. He saw that it was a British passport, and I don't know what switch flicked in his mind, but I think he realized that maybe because I'm not in Europe, there's less he can do to give me into trouble, maybe it's more of a hassle for him. He just handed me the passport back, and he said, "Be careful. Terminal 2 is that way." I was terrified. I was more scared when he said, "Be careful," than when he said, "Hand me your passport." Because I don't know what kind of troubles I'm supposed to beware of moving forward. All I know is that this guy was meant to give me into trouble. He lets me off the hook, and he's warning me about what's going to happen if I go forward, which he was inadvertently recommending I do, I guess, by not detaining me, which was awesome. Very nice of the guy. Like, that is literally the nicest thing he could have done. I was just very scared by "be careful." Anyway, I got back on the train because even when you're in the train station, you can't leave the train station without the right ticket, but you can get back onto the train. You can backtrack. So I got back onto the train. I rode it all the way to Terminal 2, which was like 30 seconds away. And I knew that I was just going to be in this exact same situation again. I wouldn't be allowed to leave the train station. All I knew was to be careful. And then I realized there are a big crowd of people leaving this train right now who are going to be walking into the airport with valid tickets that are going to open those barriers. All I need to do is smoosh my way into this big group of people, and then I'll be home free. I'll be in the airport. So I did. I just sandwiched myself between two people in a super, super uncomfortable way, both for them and not so much for me, because it was all business. But then I was in the airport and everything was great. I was very hungry, so like 4 hours into being in the airport, I went into a Starbucks and saw that someone had half finished their food, so I ate it. And yeah, you can say that's pretty depraved of me, but I think being that depraved and disgusting out of necessity for survival makes me all the more a seasoned traveler. So say what you will, haters. Anyway, got home. It was an awesome memory, awesome experience, and this is that story. I know this isn't that interesting. The second channel, what you're watching right now, it's not that good. I'm here to talk about whatever I want to talk about, because this is where I go when I have the urge to make random videos. The next main channel video is coming out soon, and it's about my Japan trip. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll actually make a lot more of these second channel videos because I just like making them. I don't care if they get no views, because they do get no views most of the time. I just like it. Anyway, I'll see you soon. I love you and have a nice day.